Now imagine this, you're in your multi-million-dollar King Air with your friend, flying around here in the mountains, everything's looking fine, but then suddenly you die. Oh no, what do? Well, you don't do anything because you're dead. Your passenger has to take over the plane, and this is something that seems to happen quite a lot. You see these news articles all the time. A passenger with no flying experience landed a plane at a Florida airport after the pilot became incapacitated. This happens like multiple times a year, actually. To the point when rich people with their own planes flying around with their family teach their wife, if I die, you kind of do this and you land. But everybody, this problem has been solved technically already. Because years ago, Garmin...
Okay, Garmin. Video speichern.
Yes, okay, Garmin introduced the so-called emergency autoland system, which can be installed to many airplanes, especially those that have the autopilot capabilities, like also being able to control thrust. Yeah, you probably won't be able to retrofit the system to like a Cessna that has a manual throttle and no auto throttle, which is the equivalent to like a cruise control to cars. Most planes don't have that. But the planes that do, they can have Autoland by Garmin, and you can retrofit it to your plane for a price of around $33,000. Very cheap. Now this system has been around for a while, but this week something very special happened. For the first time, the auto landing system by Garmin was used this week. It happened on the 20th of December of this year with a Super King Air 200. The pilot became incapacitated and the airplane completely landed itself in the Denver region in Colorado. And it's so interesting to hear this autopilot by Garmin speak. So here it is on frequency.
Bravo, Romeo, pilot incapacitation. 2 miles south of Kilo. Bravo, Juliet, Charlie, emergency auto land in 19 minutes on runway 30 right at Kilo. Bravo, Juliet, Charlie.
I feel like they should have gotten a better text-to-speech voice, but it's fine, it works. And this is so interesting. You hear that they're about to be approaching the Rocky Mountain Metropolitan Airport, and they already picked the runway 30 right for this emergency landing. Here is the airplane right now, which is coming in for landing into this airport, and you can see that they're also giving a time. Look at this. Impressive. And this is crazy. One of the first times that autonomous flying is a thing. And now 9 minutes away from runway 30 right, it keeps making callouts every few minutes or so. There we go, 4 minutes away from the airport. Here is the tower even giving a clear to land call.
Any runway, clear to land. Wind 350 at 6 altimeter 3000.
If you can hear me, and probably doesn't, even if he said don't land, the autopilot probably would have landed anyway. This is an emergency situation. Of course they'll get landing clearance. And less than 1 minute from runway 30 right, the autopilot makes their last call out. There we go. And they landed fine. This is what the airplane looks like on the runway. Perfectly stopped. Very, very interesting. I wonder now, how would they have shut down the engines so that they can actually take care of the incapacitated pilot? Here you can see like kind of the final approach they did into this airport. Probably the algorithm of the autopilot picked this airport as a suitable landing location and decided to circle around to lose altitude to come in for a final approach to runway 30 right. And I wanted to mention again how revolutionary this is. A robot being able to fly, being able to squawk 7700, saying, hey, we've got an emergency. Now, in the case of this Microsoft Flight Simulator King Air right here, we would be once again cooked. This airplane is not equipped with the Autoland system. Nope, they did not have the money to pay $33,000 for this. But everybody, there is one single plane in the flight sim world that does have this feature simulated, and it's the Cirrus Jet for the Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. And you know what? Let's die right now. Before we die though, we push this button, the safe return, and it's right now activating. And as you can see, it is activating. The emergency autoland is happening. And what I've done here is I've kind of wanted to put a test to this. We're flying through the mountains and we have no visibility at all. How much can we trust the emergency autoland system? Well, it turns out right now, not very much. The emergency autoland failed. It couldn't find a single airport. That is very interesting. The airplane in fact tells us to use the CAPS system of the plane. which is this one, the parachute. I mean, we can activate it right now. Look at this. Yeah, perfect. Now this cuts the engine automatically, it seems. Puts the plane quite automatically into this quite high-pitched maneuver to slow down, and then it brings out the parachute, which is once again totally... Oh, it's a bit of a roller coaster. Which is totally fine, because no one has ever died from this parachute touchdown, which is a little bit hard. Depending on the Cirrus airplane model, landing with a parachute feels like falling down of a 3-meter wall. Either way, I would like to try this. Come on, I want this autopilot to work. So we're gonna try this again. We're now at a bit of a higher altitude, so come on, Autoland. You've got plenty of fuel on board, so let's go ahead and use the emergency Autoland. Come on, activate that. Please. As you can see, right now it is activating. Yes, it's found something. It has found something right now. And as you can see, it gives simple directions and things that it's doing right now. It has, through an algorithm, picked a destination airport. This is Milano Malpensa International Airport, and it says no action required. We're going to be landing in 16 minutes, and it's en route to Linate. Wonderful. Yeah, very simple instructions. We're going to be descending in 1 minute. Everyone would understand this. Now, it gives us instructions right now. Press and hold the talk button on the center of the screen to talk to air traffic control. See passenger briefing card for additional information. Very interesting. In all languages, it tells us that the way to speak to ATC is by holding down this. And now, it's automatically descending. And in fact, it tells us it's descending for 4 more minutes. Wow. And see how it's calculated a flight plan. We can see here the breadcrumbs we leave behind. Very impressive. Now the weather is absolutely bad, but the plane doesn't care. It uses GPS navigation only. Oh, it's doing something. It just automatically put the flaps down. I wonder if in real life you have to do that yourself. Maybe it would say that here. The good thing is I can't see anything. In fact, it automatically put out the landing gear as well. Maybe it does that. And maybe it's supposed to do that. Maybe if you're a single pilot and you're like literally like laying like this, you can't put the landing gear out yourself. The autopilot will have to do that job for you. Now, where the hell's that runway? Oh yes, I see it. Linate is right down there. It picked a really nice airport for this emergency landing. We hold a stable speed, 90 knots, and here the plane is coming in for landing. Does it give us any more instruction? No, it's totally fine. It just says, hey, just sit here, maybe look out of the window, turn on your Spotify, maybe look at the beautiful city of Milan. Says approaching runway, descending to runway. Wonderful. Now we can enjoy this landing from outside view. My hands are here. Airplane's landing itself, and now it's cutting the throttle, as you can hear, and it comes down for an okay landing. It's fine. We do have to press on the brakes, but hey, I guess that's alright. Let's go ahead and press on the brakes, and there we go. We have just landed. This is truly very impressive, but what if you're in a sort of more precarious place in the world? Like, for example, near the North Pole. There are airports here, but they are extremely dangerous. You know what? I feel like there's no scarier place to fly than where we are right now. It is so extremely dark, and now we are dying. So let's go ahead and see if the autopilot can save us. After all, even a CAPS landing using the parachute wouldn't be nice. After all, it's just water here, so we really need to use this. Okay, it's activating, and it's found an airport nearby where it's gonna land in 26 minutes. It's found a good runway, though. Don't worry about that. The approach just isn't very easy. Let's go ahead and use this tool to speed up time a little bit, just to see what will this airplane do. We're gonna be landing in 21 minutes, though. We can't see anything. Like, this is literally what it looks like outside. There's nothing. Maybe we can put out the ice lights and the ice protection system. That must be nice. But here we are, just flying through absolute darkness. Seems to do something very interesting. To avoid crashing into a mountain, we have this long final approach right here over non-mountainous terrain. Very interesting. To the right of us, we can see our destination airport, at least on the map. Down here, I can't see anything at all. I can see the runway here already, and it's coming in for a very nice approach, I must say. The runway's right there, and we're coming in for a landing. But as usual, the weather is extremely bad. The wind speeds are so high right now. But despite that, here, yeah, I'm speeding up time a little bit. We're coming in for, See, speeding up time always is challenging for an autopilot like this. We're off center line. Please fix that. This might be a little bit of a worse landing. Let's hope it is survivable. Come on. What are you doing, airplane? Don't get messed up by the crosswinds. No, it seems to be able to fix the central. Have I done too much? Will it do a go around? Because this landing ain't looking good at all. Hello, sir, you're off center line. You're gonna make a crash landing. Are you? What are you gonna do? There's trees. Don't crash into them. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my friends of stable approaches. You're definitely missing the runway, and you don't seem to even realize that. You're off center line. But you know what? Even this would be like very survivable. You just landed in snow. Totally survivable still. Just not very good. But yes, here, even in the darkest place in the world, the North Pole, it found a suitable airport runway and managed to somehow land. But what about places where there's really no proper airport around, other than a very dangerous one, Paro Airport, you may remember it. It's right down here in this valley, and only special pilots are allowed to operate from it. So let's see if the Garmin autoland decides to land here. Okay, so press the button right there. It's activating as we speak, and it's found a very different airport in Guwahati. It is 97 minutes away, which is totally fine. Our fuel remaining is plenty. We can deactivate the autoland by just simply turning off the autopilot. There we go, comes back to normal, and we can fly this airplane. Let's maybe load in a little bit of less fuel into our plane right now. Maybe very much less, 7% or so. Yep, we're very low on fuel, and something we're also low on is life. Safe return. Interestingly enough, it just doesn't pick another airport. It will run out of fuel, so let's maybe pick a more remote location. Now, Lord Howe Island is an Australian island that's in the middle of nowhere. It is a very small airport, and mainland Australia is at least 4 hours away. This is definitely not an ideal airport for an autopilot like this, so let's see. What is it gonna say? What is it gonna do? The autoland. Okay, it says no airport found. It will not accept Lord Howe Island. So yeah, with some places in the middle of nowhere, it will have its limits, right? We're far away from the coast of South America, and it won't recognize this little airport. After all, it has a minimum runway length depending on the airplane. By the way, this is the official document of the Emergency Autoland Overview, and just like in real life this week, when a pilot doesn't give in inputs for a while, the Emergency Autoland automatically activates. Very impressive stuff. Good thing is that you wouldn't really want to fly a surge jet, especially as a single pilot, so far of the coast of anything anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Very impressive stuff. What a revolutionary week for aviation. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow as always. Good night. And special thanks goes out to my members, my supporters, Guns Killer, R27, James Duram, That Dude, Anime Gods of Gaming, Derek, Insider Plane, Nishijutsu Fanner, Professional Jamal, Ryland Williams, and New the York. You've got beautiful names.